Hello everyone, and thanks again for joining the webinar today. Today's webinar is called Receive Recognition for Your Wellness Efforts, Navigating the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms Initiative. So we're really excited today that you've joined us this afternoon. And during the webinar today, we'll provide you with a brief overview of the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms Initiative, as well as provide you with a few resources, some guidance, some tips to help you successfully apply for this initiative. We have two presenters for today's session. My name is Heidi Milby, and I'm a School Program Manager at Action for Healthy Kids. And my co-presenter today is Ebony James, a nutritionist with the United States Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service Child Nutrition Program. It's a mouthful, but we're really glad to have Ebony on the call today to talk with us about her work with the HealthierUS School Challenge. So before we get started, I wanted to just review some logistics and the technology. Once you're linked in, you should see a control panel on your right-hand side. It's usually on the right-hand side of your screen, but it may be in another location depending on the version that you're using. You can use your telephone or your speakers to listen to the presentation today, but everyone is muted to avoid static and background interference. If you look toward the bottom of your control panel, you should see a dialog box where you can type in questions as we're going along. So we do have some time about halfway through to answer questions, and we'll of course try and get those questions answered later in the presentation or via email following the webinar if we don't have time to get to all questions. And so you know the webinar is being recorded, and links to the recording, the slides, the related handouts and links will be sent to you within 2 to 3 business days after the webinar. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So before we dive into the content, I wanted to review the agenda really quickly. So first, we are going to provide you with some introductions, who Action for Healthy Kids is if you're not familiar with us, as well as the USDA Food and Nutrition Services. We'll also provide you with an overview of the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms initiative. We'll talk about some of the benefits to applying, the application criteria, as well as some tips. And then we're going to spend most of our time really diving into the major components of the application. So hopefully you'll end today having a really comprehensive view of what the application entails. And then finally, we'll end with some additional tips for applying, some resources from Action for Healthy Kids and from the USDA, and then hopefully we'll have some time for questions as well. So with that, let's get started. So first, a little bit about Action for Healthy Kids. Action for Healthy Kids' mission is to fight childhood obesity, undernourishment, and physical inactivity by helping schools become healthier places. So our focus is really on improving schools to address childhood obesity. Our network is made up of moms, dads, teachers, students, school and community leaders, anyone who has an invested interest in childhood obesity or who has an expertise in school wellness. And these folks have banded together to create healthier learning environments for our children. Ultimately, we believe that everyone has a role to play in ending the nation's childhood obesity epidemic, and we believe that our programs, tools, and resources help make that possible. Action for Healthy Kids was founded in 2002 by former Surgeon General David Satcher, and today we have more than 90,000 members across the country. In addition, we also partner with dozens of professional associations, government agencies, and corporations at the national, state, and local level. So why are we here today? So Action for Healthy Kids, we refer to our overarching organizational goal as the Every Kid Healthy goal. You can see it on your screen now, but that goal is essentially that all schools within the U.S. provide healthy foods, quality health and physical education, and comprehensive physical activity for all students by 2030. So yes, it's quite a goal. It's a visionary goal. And we believe that through the work with our partners, schools, and constituents, we together can make sure that schools are providing a healthy environment for our students. And the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms initiative is one of those ways that we can get schools recognized for their efforts for being health promoting, ultimately working toward our goal of Every Kid Healthy. Because the United States Department of Agriculture is one of our national partners, I wanted to turn it over now to Ebony to talk a little bit about her work and her department at the USDA and also introduce us to the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms initiative. Ebony?
All right, well, thank you, Heidi. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, the USDA Food and Nutrition Service administers several programs that provide healthy food to children, including the National School Lunch Program, the School Breakfast Program, the Child and Adult Care Food Program, the Summer Food Service Program, the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, and the Special Milk Program. Administered by state agencies, each of these programs helps fight hunger and obesity by reimbursing organizations such as schools, child care centers, and after-school programs for providing healthy meals to children. Team Nutrition is an initiative of the USDA Food and Nutrition Service to support those child nutrition programs I just mentioned through training and technical assistance for food service, nutrition education for children and their caregivers, and school and community support for healthy eating and physical activity. So let's talk a little bit about what Team Nutrition encompasses. It's an integrated, behavior-based, comprehensive plan for promoting nutrition among children. This plan involves schools, parents, and the community in efforts to continuously improve school meals and to promote the health and education of 50 million school children nationwide. The goal of Team Nutrition is to improve children's lifelong eating and physical activity habits by using the principles of the latest dietary guidelines for Americans and My Plate. Schools that are enrolled in Team Nutrition receive training and technical assistance for healthy meals, nutrition education resources, school and community support, and they also receive links to partners and supporters. The HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms is a voluntary initiative that was established in 2004 under that overarching Team Nutrition initiative. It helps to recognize schools in the National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs that have created healthier school environments through the promotion of nutrition and physical activity. The HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms emphasizes developing lifetime healthy habits. Schools that receive this award demonstrate to the community a commitment to school health. Schools receiving this award will commit to meeting the criteria throughout their 4-year certification period. The criteria that has been set is consistent with the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program meal pattern requirements. And this initiative recognizes schools that meet meal pattern requirements, that are currently implementing smarter lunchroom techniques, and that are going above and beyond the federal requirements for smart snacks and local wellness policy. Because the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms is a part of the overarching Team Nutrition initiative, all schools must be enrolled with Team Nutrition to be eligible to apply. The criteria is specific for 4 levels of recognition that include bronze, silver, gold, and gold award of distinction. In 2010, this initiative caught the eye of the Let's Move campaign that is currently headed by First Lady Michelle Obama. And when First Lady Michelle Obama introduced Let's Move and adopted the HealthierUS School Challenge under its umbrella, monetary incentives were also made available to those schools that would be recognized. So schools began to receive monetary incentives for meeting the required criteria beginning in that year of 2010. So the incentives included awards that were different for each level. At bronze, it was $500, silver, $1,000, gold, $1,500, and at gold award of distinction, $2,000. To date, there are 6,706 schools across the United States that are currently certified as HealthierUS School Challenge schools. Keep in mind that this chart that you see on the slide shows the growth and decrease in the number of certified schools by award levels as of October 2013, October 2014, and October 2015. Also remember that schools are certified for 4 years, so our numbers do fluctuate some as schools expire. In order to help keep our numbers steady, we do send out reminder emails at 9-month, 6-month, 3-month, and 1-month intervals before the school's award expires in hopes that the school will reapply at the same level or at a higher level so that they can maintain their certification status. As I mentioned, schools receive monetary incentives for applying for the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms initiative, but let's talk through some of the other perks that awardees receive. Schools recognized as an awardee receive a display banner. They receive a certificate signed by the Secretary of Agriculture and it's mounted on a protective plaque. They also receive national recognition on the Team Nutrition website and a congratulatory letter or card signed by First Lady Michelle Obama, in addition to the monetary incentive that they receive. Along with incentives, there are many benefits of the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms. Some of these benefits include building school spirit and creating positive publicity. The HealthierUS School Challenge is a great way to demonstrate to the community the changes your school has made to become a healthier place for kids, as well as the positive impact your school is having on the health and well-being of students and their families. It is also an opportunity to celebrate, in a healthy way of course, your school's success in improving health and wellness opportunities before, during, and after the school day. By receiving positive national recognition and building school spirit, the HealthierUS School Challenge can increase support for and momentum around school wellness initiatives. It's a way to make your efforts known and garner additional support to continue the great work your school is doing around health and wellness. The HealthierUS School Challenge also supports the learning connection, the connection between healthy eating, physical activity, and academic achievement. Research has taught us that healthy kids are better learners. Schools that offer students healthier food and more time to be active are seeing increasing fitness levels, better student behavior, higher test scores, and even higher graduation rates. And kids who don't eat nutritiously and enjoy regular physical activity are at an academic disadvantage. The HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchroom supports educational outcomes as it helps to ensure that students are healthy and that they're ready to learn. Finally, taking the challenge is a way for your school to be a leader in the efforts to end childhood obesity. By providing a healthy environment early on, we can help kids develop the habits necessary to lead a long and healthy life. So now that we provided a brief overview of the initiative, its history, and its benefits, let's dive into the application criteria. The HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchroom criteria focuses on the entire school environment. The following areas have been established as criteria to impact students at school, home, and in the community. Heidi and I will briefly go through the criteria for each of these areas, which includes smarter lunchrooms, smart snacks, nutrition education, physical activity, local school wellness policy, and other criteria for excellence. So we're going to start by talking through the general criteria. The criteria that you see listed on the slide are for all award levels. First, schools must participate in the school breakfast program and the National School Lunch Program. They must meet meal pattern requirements and have no outstanding corrective actions. The School Food Authority must also be certified for the additional 6-cent reimbursement. Additionally, schools must be actively implementing a required number of smarter lunchroom techniques at every award level. Smart Snack criteria has also been put in place for every award level. These criteria are centered around meeting smart snacks and school nutrition standards, but they also go a step farther at each award level by focusing on the areas of fundraising, advertising, and training. This includes running each food label served or offered at schools through the Smart Snack calculator, and we'll dive into this later in today's presentation. The school must also be enrolled as a team nutrition school. It's easy and it's free to join using the link on your screen. And if you're not sure if your school is enrolled, you can view the online database to determine if your school is enrolled and who the primary team nutrition contact is. We will share the link to become a team nutrition school in the follow-up materials. As mentioned earlier, schools must also participate in the school breakfast program and National School Lunch Program. So on your screen now, you'll see the criteria around minimum average daily participation rates in these programs to be eligible for the various award levels of the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms initiative. So as you'll note in the chart, HealthierUS School Challenge does not require an average daily participation rate for the bronze level. However, it does require an ADP rate for the silver, gold, and gold award of distinction levels for both breakfast and lunch. Average daily participation in the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program is based on attendance rather than enrollment. So calculating the ADP in this manner is considered to be fair to schools as it does not include children that may be absent or who do not eat lunch or breakfast. For example, part-day kindergartners, so it doesn't include them in the calculation. So the final thing I would like to note on this slide is that in order to meet any level of award, schools must achieve the award levels ADP for both breakfast and lunch. Lunch has higher ADPs than breakfast. So for example, if your school meets the ADP for lunch to apply for the gold award, but does not meet the ADP for breakfast for that award level, your school would not be eligible to apply for the gold award. Well, at this time, I'm going to pass things back over to Heidi to walk us through the Smarter Lunchrooms component of the application.
Great, thanks, Ebony. So let's first talk about the Smarter Lunchrooms movement, which is distinctly different from the HealthierUS School Challenge. The Smarter Lunchrooms is a USDA-funded research center that's based out of Cornell University, and this center works to equip school lunchrooms with evidence-based tools that improve child eating behaviors and thus improve the health of children. Smarter Lunchrooms uses 6 key principles that are based on research on various environmental cues, both physical and social, that influence eating behavior. So it's really based on behavioral economics. Research shows that most of our food decisions are heavily influenced by our environment. So to give you an example, the size of the container we eat from may dictate how much we eat. Or what everyone else is eating may influence what we eat versus our own internal hunger cues. So the Research Center works to identify and develop practical evidence-based strategies that can shape those school environments. Research is showing that lunchrooms can be redesigned or rearranged to nudge students to make healthier choices. So we'll share the link to the Smarter Lunchrooms movement and the follow-up materials. In 2014, the HealthierUS School Challenge was renamed the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms to incorporate these Smarter Lunchrooms components because of the evidence behind having Smarter Lunchrooms and the impact on healthy eating. So to meet the Smarter Lunchrooms criteria of the application, all schools that are applying must fill out a Smarter Lunchroom self-assessment scorecard, which is a document that contains 100 statements that are considered to be Smarter Lunchroom techniques. Applicants will be asked to check off those statements that they are currently implementing in their school lunchroom. So I'll give you an example. So one of the statements on the scorecard is daily fruit options are available in at least 2 different locations on each service line. So if this is something that's happening in your own school lunchroom, you would check it off as something you are currently implementing. So this tool is intended to help you evaluate your lunchroom, congratulate yourself on things that you're already doing well, and identify really tangible ways that your school lunchroom could improve to support healthy eating. The number of techniques from the scorecard that the school must implement is dependent upon the award level. So in order to submit a successful application, schools must not only include a copy of their completed scorecard, but they must also include a brief summary in the application of how they're implementing Smarter Lunchroom techniques, as well as 2 to 3 photos that show the Smarter Lunchroom techniques taking place. So you can see on your screen here, there are a different number of items for each award level. So for bronze applicants, you must check off at least 30 action items of those 100. Silver and gold must select at least 50 action items, and gold award of distinction must choose at least 70. One thing to note, I wanted to draw your attention to how the award levels are determined. So the requirements to be as bronze, silver, gold, or gold award of distinction through the HealthierUS School Challenge is different than what is actually listed on the Smarter Lunchroom self-assessment scorecard. This is because the Smarter Lunchrooms movement was launched as a separate initiative from the HealthierUS School Challenge and has different award levels. So as you can see on your screen, what you'll see on the Smarter Lunchroom self-assessment scorecard is only 3 levels, bronze, silver, and gold. However, the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms has 4 levels. So pay close attention to this, and remember to always use the criteria that are listed in the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms application, and the one that you see listed on the screen with bronze needing at least 30 items, silver and gold needing at least 50, and gold award of distinction needing at least 70. Let's cover one more section before we pause for questions. As a reminder, do submit your questions in the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. And in the meantime, we'll address the Smart Snacks component of the initiative. So all foods and beverages sold to students during the school day must meet or exceed the USDA's nutrition standards for all foods and beverages sold to students. This is what's referred to as Smart Snacks in school. So as a reminder, the school day extends from midnight to 30 minutes past the end of the official school day. And this is a requirement for all award levels, so you must meet the Smart Snacks in School nutrition requirements. This includes a la carte, vending, school stores, snack and food carts, and any other food-based fundraising that's occurring during the school year. Now, the school may follow the fundraising exemptions and guidance that are set by their state agency, but they also must adhere to the federal Smart Snacks in School requirements. So if a school does not sell competitive foods but participates in fundraising, then the fundraising must follow those Smart Snacks standards. We'll send a link. We'll talk a little bit more about fundraising in just a minute and send a link so you can find out how many exemptions your own state has. The Smart Snacks criteria slightly differs between each award level, so I want to take a couple of minutes to walk through each of these differences. So when looking at the bronze and silver requirements, they are the same, so we're going to talk about those together. So in addition to meeting the federal Smart Snack standards that I just mentioned, schools must also offer training on Smart Snack standards annually to all individuals who are involved in the sale of foods on school campus during the school day. In addition, they must also avoid advertising or marketing foods and beverages that do not meet Smart Snacks criteria to students. So for example, schools should not post signs or marketing materials promoting these foods where it's visible to students on the school campus during the school day. To meet the criteria to apply for the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms, schools need to submit evidence of a written policy and/or written communication or training for school staff and parent organizations that addresses how foods and beverages are marketed in schools. So again, this is for the bronze and silver. Let's take a look at the requirements for the gold level. So first, the school must meet all of the criteria we just mentioned for silver and bronze, and then go above and beyond by, one, only permitting food-related fundraisers that meet the USDA Smart Snack standards, even if your state allows exemptions. So as I mentioned earlier, states are allowed to have a certain number of food fundraisers that can be exempt from meeting the Smart Snacks requirements. Schools that apply for gold, however, must ensure that all food fundraisers meet Smart Snacks requirements. So as I mentioned, we'll send you the link on your screen in the follow-up material so you can confirm the number of exemptions your state allows. But again, if you're applying for gold, all of those food-related fundraisers should meet the Smart Snacks standards, regardless of how many exemptions your state has. And then second, if foods and beverages are sold to students on the school campus at events that are outside of the school day, such as sporting events or after-school activities or award ceremonies, then water, fruits, and/or vegetables should also be offered and promoted as options. So in order to apply for the gold level, schools must provide evidence of a written school policy and/or instructions for those that sell foods to students on the school campus. And then finally, let's look at the requirements to apply for Gold Award of Distinction. So in order to meet this level, schools must meet all of the gold criteria that we just discussed. In addition to that, they must also ensure that the majority, so greater than 50% of school-sponsored fundraising events that are conducted outside of the school day include only non-food items or only foods and beverages that meet or exceed the USDA Smart Snacks and School Nutrition Standards. So you'll recall earlier, Smart Snacks in Schools applies to what happens during the school day. However, to apply for Gold Award of Distinction, schools must go above and beyond to ensure that the majority of those fundraising events happening outside of the school day are meeting Smart Snacks in Schools. To apply for this level, you again must include a list of school-sponsored fundraisers during the past year, as well as that written policy or guidance that addresses fundraising events occurring outside of the school day. So to help you determine whether or not your school is meeting the Smart Snacks standard, you can use the Smarter Snacks Calculator, which was developed with the USDA and the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. So what's great about this calculator is it allows you to look at the nutrition facts panel, answer a few questions, and determine whether your snack or your side or your entree item meets the federal guidelines for Smart Snacks. This calculator has been determined by the USDA Food and Nutrition Service to be accurate in assessing product compliance with the federal requirements for Smart Snacks in schools. And the calculator can be used both on foods and on beverages. So of course, we'll share the link to the Smart Snacks calculator in the follow-up materials. So at this time, I want to take a moment to pause for questions. Jocelyn, do we have any questions that have come in?
Nope, not yet. I think we're good.
Okay, great. Well, as a reminder, definitely submit your questions. I know this is a lot of information and some complicated information as well, so we're happy to answer those questions while we're on the webinar today. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to Ebony to talk through our nutrition education criteria. Ebony?
All right, thank you, Heidi. All right, so we're going to get started again, and we're going to focus on the nutrition education requirements for elementary schools. So for all award levels, nutrition education should be provided to all full-day students in all grades for elementary school. It should be part of a structured and systematic unit of instruction, meaning that it should be planned out and it should be integrated into the school day as opposed to just giving a single lesson here and there. Additionally, nutrition education should incorporate the team nutrition curricula and materials. And this can include the posters. There's so many lesson plans that are available. We just want those to, be used. We know that the information in them reflect the latest dietary guidelines and My Plate. So we want the latest information getting out there to the kids. And finally, nutrition education in elementary schools should utilize multiple channels of communication, including 3 primary channels: the classroom, the cafeteria, and at home. So now we're going to move on to the criteria for middle schools. You'll notice several differences as compared to the elementary school requirements that we just reviewed. To qualify for the bronze and silver awards in middle school, nutrition education must be offered in at least one grade during the school year. For gold and gold award of distinction, however, nutrition education should be offered in at least 2 grades. Additionally, for all award levels, nutrition education in middle school must incorporate the latest dietary guidelines for Americans and information on My Plate. And just like elementary schools, team nutrition materials should also be incorporated, and the school should utilize multiple channels of communication, including the 3 that were mentioned earlier: the classroom, the cafeteria, and the home. And finally, let's review the nutrition education requirements for high schools. For all award levels, nutrition education should be offered in 2 courses that are required for graduation. And again, it should be part of a structured and systematic unit of instruction within those 2 courses. Additionally, nutrition education should be consistent with the dietary guidelines for Americans and My Plate. And as was the case with elementary and middle schools, nutrition education should also be provided through multiple channels: the classroom, the cafeteria, and the home. However, unlike elementary and middle schools, high schools are not required to use team nutrition materials when teaching nutrition education. But if you're looking for a structured and systematic unit of instruction for your 2 high school courses, take a look at the Super Tracker high school lesson plans that is offered. So now we're going to move on to the physical education criteria. Let's begin by looking at the physical education for elementary schools. Physical education must be provided to all full-day students throughout the school year. For bronze and silver, there must be at least an average of 45 minutes per week of physical education. For gold, there must be at least an average of 90 minutes per week. And for gold award of distinction, it requires at least an average of 150 minutes per week. As noted with the asterisks, a school can use structured physical activity for part of the physical education time requirement. If your school provides structured physical activity that is moderately intense, it has to also take place in 10-minute increments or longer, and it must be planned by a PE teacher and implemented by a classroom teacher or administrator. Then if they meet all of those qualifications, these minutes can count towards your physical education requirement. Some schools may already implement moderately intense 10-minute physical activity breaks, but the key here is that the physical activity breaks have to be planned by a PE teacher. For all award levels in middle school, it is required that structured physical education be offered in at least 2 grades. The high school requirements are for all grade levels, and there must be structured physical education offered in at least 2 courses. At this time, I'm going to pass it back over to Heidi to walk us through the physical activity criteria.
Great, thanks, Ebony. So for all award levels, the school should not deny or require physical activity as a means of punishment. So for example, this means that recess and/or PE is not taken away from students that didn't complete their homework, or maybe who are misbehaving in class, or who arrived tardy. This also means that students should not be punished with physical activity. So for example, by running laps if they show up late for PE class. So keep in mind that this is for all award levels, and we've listed a few alternative consequences there on the screen. We won't go into detail on those, but that is key, is providing alternative consequences instead of taking away physical activity as punishment. So let's first look at the criteria for elementary schools. So for all award levels, physical activity opportunities are provided each day for all full-day students. So a few examples you could list in this section include scheduled recess, walking clubs, bike clubs, maybe your school has a walk-to-school program, maybe your school schedules fitness breaks every day. So these are such opportunities for physical activity that are not the same as physical education, but that are physical activity that's occurring regularly at your school. And then for middle and high school, for all award levels, the school should provide students in all grades opportunities to participate in physical activity. So this could include things like intramural sports, interscholastic sports, activity clubs, non-competitive sports throughout the school year. So in addition, the school should also actively promote participation in physical activity both in and out of school to all students. So the key here is to list the physical activity opportunities that are taking place that are outside of the competitive varsity level sports. So we only have 2 more components of the initiative that we're going to talk through today. First, I want to walk through the requirements around the local school wellness policy section. So the local school wellness policy section applies to all award levels. Schools should submit a copy of their school's wellness policy with their application. If your school does not have a school-level wellness policy, you should use and submit the district's wellness policy. So when you answer the questions for the local school wellness policy, you should respond to how your school is implementing the district wellness policy if that is the policy you're submitting. So the application will ask you to identify ways that your school is implementing the wellness policy. So it will ask you to first list 3 ways that your school is working to meet wellness policy goals. So a few examples here might include, we have a wellness team that meets monthly, or our school only participates in healthy fundraising, such as cutie clementines for Valentine's Day. So review your district policy or your school level policy and then pull out key ways that your school is implementing the policy. Second, the application will ask you to describe how parents, students, school administration, staff, and community are involved in wellness initiatives. So an example here might be if you have a monthly newsletter called something like Working to Wellness that's sent to parents and available for the community to view on the website. Or perhaps your school hosts an annual health fair that's directly aligned with getting community members and parents involved in health and wellness initiatives. So identify all the ways that your school community and your staff are involved in wellness initiatives. And then third, the application will ask you to demonstrate a commitment to prohibiting the use of food as a reward and physical activity as punishment, which we talked about earlier. So for example, if your school offers an annual training on the wellness policies that talks about alternatives for providing non-food or healthy rewards or alternatives for consequences instead of taking away physical activity, this annual training could be listed as a way that your school demonstrates this commitment. So we've reached the last component of the application. The final component is called Other Criteria for Excellence. So there are 3 categories within the Other Criteria for Excellence category. The first category focuses on program outreach excellence. The second focuses on excellence in school and community involvement in wellness efforts. And the third focuses on school food service excellence. So I'm not going to walk through each of the criteria today due to our relatively short time together, but I do want to give you a couple of examples of what is included within each of these categories so you can get a sense of the kinds of questions that are asked. So when we're talking about program outreach excellence, an example of a statement that's included in that category is, school has implemented innovative practices to increase school breakfast program participation, such as breakfast in the classroom, grab-and-go options, or vended reimbursable breakfast. So if your school is implementing an alternative breakfast program, such as breakfast in the classroom, you could simply check off this statement and then describe your efforts. Another example of program outreach excellence is school operates an after-school program that offers an after-school snack or an at-risk after-school meals component of the child and adult care food program. So if your school is participating in the child and adult care food program, you could check this box off, describe your efforts, and that would count toward criteria for program outreach excellence. A couple of examples within excellence in school and community involvement in wellness efforts is that students are engaged via student advisory council, student wellness team, or a similar student interest group in wellness efforts, and students have the opportunity to provide input on school food, marketing of school meals, and physical activity options. Input from students, when feasible, should be taken and put into action. So this is one of the statements that's listed in this section. So if your school has a student wellness team that does all of these things and is able to provide input on these various components, you could check that off and include that as something that your school is doing. And then finally, to highlight a couple of examples from the school food service excellence category, one example is that your school is implementing at least one aspect of the farm to school initiative. So perhaps your school has a school garden, or your school hosts field trips to local farms, or perhaps your school has joined the U.S. Food Waste Challenge to recognize efforts to reduce food waste. So these are a few examples that are listed within this category. So again, you would just check it if your school is doing it, and that would count toward your overall score in this section. So there are a total of 14 statements to choose from within this section. To qualify for the bronze level, your school should meet 2 of the 14 options. For silver, you must meet 4 of the 14 options. For gold, it's 6 of the 14 options. And then finally, gold award of distinction, Your school must meet 8 of the options and more than 1 of the categories that I just talked about. And with that, we did it. We went through all of the components of the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms. So before we do end the webinar today, we want to talk through the application process and then give you some guidance and resources to help you apply. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ebony to talk a little bit through the application process.
All right, thanks, Heidi. So on your slide, you see that this is a look at the application process. So first, the school or the school district completes the application. Then the district reviews the application. Then they send that application to the state agency for additional review. Once the state approves the application, bronze and silver and gold applications are sent to the USDA regional office, and there are 7 regional offices, for the final round of review. All gold award of distinction applications are sent from the regional office directly to the national USDA office for the final review. So once the USDA, either regional or national office, approves the application, the school is considered certified and then announced. And announcements of awardees are usually made once a month. The application does not have an end date or a date when they need to be turned in. It's just applications are received on a continuous basis. So schools are encouraged to apply, not just as an individual school, but as a district, as a part of a larger district. So districts can apply for several or all of their schools in their district at one time. If applying from the district level, there are sections of the application that may be standardized, as seen on your screen: the Smart Snacks area, ADP area, physical education, other criteria of excellence. So what can be standardized will vary depending on your particular district. When turning in the application for a district, it's important that you provide the district school list document with the application, and this is available online. It can be downloaded at the website, and the address is given on the slide. And then you just scroll to the bottom of that website, and it's the 3rd link. So now here are a couple of tips to help you to apply. First things first, join Team Nutrition. Using the link that's provided on the screen, you see it along the bottom, and it'll also be provided in a follow-up email. You just register online to join Team Nutrition. It's a simple process, takes about 5 minutes to complete, and once you join, you will not only receive access to Team Nutrition materials, which means you're able to download them online, and you're also able to order them at no cost, but you'll also be able to satisfy one area of criteria for applying for the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms. After that, pull together your team, divide and conquer. Schools who are successful in applying for the application pull together a team that includes food service personnel, the physical education and or health teacher, the principal, a parent representative, even students can be involved. This group can help your school brainstorm and list all your school's various health and wellness initiatives, as well as physically complete the various components of the application. This will help your school complete the application more quickly, efficiently, and completely versus one person just doing it all alone. Next, take some time to review the application. You might discover that you already meet all the criteria. Alternatively, you might find that you are 1 or 2 criteria away from applying for a higher certification level. Use the HealthierUS School Challenge as an opportunity to build upon existing school wellness initiatives or expand your school's wellness program. Make sure that you thoroughly understand the criteria before you complete the application. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the USDA resources. Team Nutrition has great resources to support those who are applying for the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms. The HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms site has a handy criteria chart, a fabulous and colorful promotional brochure that you can order or download for no cost to share with everyone you know. They also have past webinars that detail the ins and outs of meeting each and every criteria, and there's an application there that makes it very easy to apply. The nutrition education resources that we have available are colorful, they're engaging, they target multiple grade levels, they're based on the latest dietary guidelines for Americans in My Plate, and they're free to download or order. So we want you to spread the word, share it about this great recognition program, and utilize our resources to help you succeed. Another important part of HealthierUS School Challenge is collaboration and working together. Action for Healthy Kids is promoting HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchroom, and they're utilizing USDA's resources or their own resources that have been reviewed by Food and Nutrition Service staff. USDA, we fully support state agencies partnering with Action for Healthy Kids state coordinators in their states to promote this initiative as they are able to do so. If you're a school or a district and you're listening to this webinar, please feel free to reach out to the Action for Healthy Kids state coordinators to receive support in completing the application. We will share with you how to contact them in the follow-up email that is sent out following this webinar. Just as a reminder, we have reviewed the resources and training materials that Action for Healthy Kids is promoting and that they're going to tell you a little bit more about when I finish. And the push for schools to become certified as HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms is a part of a larger campaign that was talked about earlier, the Every Kid Healthy campaign. So we're very comfortable with providing the Food and Nutrition Service Regional Office with the listing of those Action for Healthy Kids state coordinators and the Action for Healthy Kids regional managers, because we want to be able to share with state agencies to assist in bridging that communication and to decrease the duplicative efforts that go on so many times. We want to decrease those because we're all working towards the same goal: healthy children, healthy school environments and communities, and it works much better when we're all working together. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Heidi.
Thanks, Ebony. I couldn't agree more. I think collaboration is key here, not only for you all as schools or as districts working together to get recognized, but definitely all of us partners that are here to support you. So in addition to our state coordinators who are available to help you work through the application, I wanted to quickly highlight a few additional resources from Action for Healthy Kids that you can utilize to help meet the criteria. So the first resource I want to mention is the Game On program. So Game On was developed years ago to support schools, staff, students, families in incorporating healthy food choices and physical activity into their daily lives and into the school environment. And Game On was recently revised within the past year or so to support your school specifically in getting nationally recognized as a health-promoting school. So within Game On, you'll find tons of resources that are specifically designed to help you become recognized through the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms. Game On has more than 70 Eat Better and Move More activities, such as Host a Taste Test, Family Fun Days, Brain Breaks, Rethink Your Drink. The list goes on. It's really intended to provide resources and ideas and templates for you all as school and district personnel to implement healthy eating and physical activities within your school. Each of these activities has been organized into a school blueprint, so schools can search for activities based on which area of the school they want to make healthier. So for example, if you are a classroom teacher, you could travel to the Game On site via the link on the bottom of your screen. You could click on the classroom icon within the school blueprint, and you'll find loads of ideas around eating better in the classroom and moving more in the classroom. In addition, Game On has been designed as a 6-step program that ranges from the first step of gathering a team all the way to the 6th step and the final step of receiving recognition. So Game On has also been designed to help your school build a team, do an assessment, create an action plan, and then implement your action plan so that you're able to become recognized at the end of your efforts. So I highly encourage you to check out the website. It's completely free to register. You just need to create a simple login, and then it's yours to use however you, your school or your district would like to use it. So as I mentioned, within Game On, there's a number of resources that have been specifically designed to help your school be successful in applying for the HealthierUS School Challenge. So I've listed a few of these resources on the screen. This is not an inclusive list. There's several other resources that have been created. But if you were to go to the Game On site and you were to go to step 6, receive recognition, you would find links to all of these resources. So first, for example, we've created a sample application that takes the HealthierUS School Challenge Smarter Lunchrooms application. It provides ideas for what needs to be completed within each application question, gives you some ideas for what the question is asking for. So perhaps you're thinking about what does your school do around physical activity. The application provides some ideas that may be taking place at your school that you may forget to include. It also includes various reminder text boxes that remind you when you need to submit photos or submit additional documentation. So it's really intended to be a resource for you to be utilized as you're completing the application with your team. We've also created tip sheets for each component of the application that we've discussed today. So if after today you feel like you still need some clarity around a particular component of the Healthier US School Challenge, you can download our tip sheets that are one page front and back, and it reiterates what the requirements are, and it also links you to additional resources that can support you in meeting the criteria for that particular component of the application. We also have checklists. So we have some quick scan checklists that can help your school really quickly determine, can you apply? Are you ready to apply? We also have more in-depth checklists that take you through each component of the application where you can really get a sense of what level you could apply for. Are you meeting all of the requirements for gold, or perhaps do you need to apply for silver because you're not meeting all of those requirements? We also have some guidance around how to divide the application for your school health team. So as you gather a school health team to complete the application, we've specifically outlined which pages the physical education teacher should complete and which pages your school nutrition director should complete. And then coming soon, we're in the process of revising our mini webinar series where we cover each component of the application in detail in about 10 minutes. So again, if you need a refresher over a specific component of the application, you could check out our mini webinars and review that in 10 minutes or less. So these webinars will become live on our website early next week. So when we send the follow-up email, we will link you to step 6 of Game On, which is where these resources are housed, so you can access them however often you need to. And then I encourage you also to follow us for more resources. So we continually offer resources on our social media pages. So I encourage you to follow us on whatever form of social media you use, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, etc. And finally, if you want more information specifically around some of the school meals criteria, attend another webinar. So we're going to send a link to register in the follow-up materials. We are hosting another webinar in March that's been specifically designed for school nutrition staff. So anyone is welcome to attend. So we will go into more depth on smarter lunchrooms, on the smart snacks criteria. So feel free to share this information with the most appropriate person in your school building or district, or attend yourself. So at this time, I'm going to pause and ask Jocelyn, do we have any questions that have come in?
Yeah, we actually have quite a few that have come in. They're all great questions. So just to get us kind of rolling, we'll start with a few breakfast questions. It's a two-parter. We have a person asking, why does the school have to serve breakfast to be able to participate? And then on the other side, what if you qualify for all the criteria except for the breakfast program?
Ebony, I'm going to leave that question up to you to provide the USDA perspective.
Okay. Early on, when Healthier US School Challenge first started, we did not include schools participating in the school breakfast program as a part of the criteria, but we all know and we've seen the research on the difference that breakfast can make, and having kids making sure that they get a healthy meal, a healthy start to their day. So we wanted to encourage participation in the school breakfast program, so that's why we made it a part of the requirements for schools to help encourage schools to offer the program and to encourage students to participate in the program, hoping to get the ball rolling in that area. We are more than willing to, work and offer technical assistance through our state agency and our regional offices in order to give schools ideas for how they can offer the school breakfast program if they're not doing it already, and also for those who are already doing it to increase their participation numbers. So that's where we would lead you. Please feel free to email us so that we can reach out to you through our state agency and regional offices so we can assist in that area. But I know that that criteria is not going away as a part of the Healthier US School Challenge program, so it is here to stay. And I'm not sure about the second part of that question. Can you read it one more time, Jocelyn, if you don't mind?
Sure. So what if you qualify with all the criteria except for the breakfast program?
Then we would try to offer technical assistance to work with you so that you would qualify in the area of, and I'm saying qualify meaning that they don't offer the school breakfast program but they meet the rest. And again, like I said, we would offer technical assistance in order to hopefully get them to start offering the school breakfast program so that they could apply for the HealthierUS School Challenge.
Great.
I should
Thank
also
you.
mention that Action for Healthy Kids does provide grants around school breakfast to help your school move from a traditional breakfast setting to implementing an alternative model for school breakfast. So if you're interested in learning more about those grants to start a breakfast program at your school, you can definitely email Action for Healthy Kids at gameon@actionforhealthykids.org, and we'll make sure we link you up when those grant opportunities are available.
Perfect. We have another question that has come in asking about what if you're working with an intermediate school, so grades 5 and 6, so which category would they fall under? Would it be elementary or middle school?
This is Ebony, and it could be either one. It's really up to them and how the rest of their, I guess, school setting is structured regarding the physical education side of it. They can take that into consideration. We don't limit a school that covers different grade levels. We don't limit them saying if you are covering 5th grade, you have to, qualify under the elementary, or if you have 6th grade, you have to automatically qualify under middle. Since it crosses that bridge of 5th and 6th, they could apply for either one. If I was them, I would look at the criteria, see which would be most beneficial to them, and apply under that particular grade level. Hopefully that's understandable. If not, please feel free to email us at cmpntab@fns.usda.gov.
Perfect. We had a question about how state agency coordinators from the USDA can work, and Action for Healthy Kids can collaborate on completing the HUSSC applications with schools. I don't know if we have any advice or suggestions.
This is Heidi. I can offer a few suggestions. So I know that in some of our states, our Action for Healthy Kids state coordinators are able to, if a school is interested or a district is interested in applying, what the state agency or the USDA regional managers have done is referred that school or that district to the Action for Healthy Kids state coordinator, where they have the time and the expertise to sit down with them to walk through the application and to help them apply. So I know that's been a really beneficial way to take some of the time constraints out of it and some of the barriers related to time, and really support schools in an individualized way. So that's one suggestion I have. I don't know, Ebony, if you have another recommendation for how that can be handled.
No, I think that's the best recommendation. And again, I know that we're going to provide information in a follow-up email after this webinar. So, I would encourage them to reach out so that they can be connected to the right people.
Great. And then just one more question. Someone asked how they can access the sample application on the Action for Healthy Kids website. So I can throw that over to you, Heidi.
Sure. So if you go to the Game On website, which is www.actionforhealthykids.org/tools-for-schools/. That's long. We are going to send that link out in the follow-up materials. If you go to Game On, it takes less than 5 minutes. Just create a login for Game On. Again, it's completely free, and that will get you access to the entire Game On program. Once you're logged in, if you go to step 6, receive recognition, so when you log in on your right-hand side, you'll see all of the steps listed out. Go to step 6, receive recognition, and you'll see all of the resources that we talked about linked right there. The sample application is one of the first resources that is linked within that section. So definitely create a login as your first step, and then feel free to reach out to us if you need additional technical assistance kind of navigating from that point at gameon@actionforhealthykids.org, and we'd be happy to help.
Great.
Any other questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for your active participation and for your questions. If you have additional questions afterward, definitely let us know. You will see our contact information is listed on the screen. And then that concludes our webinar today. So as I mentioned, we will send a follow-up email with all of the relevant links, with a link to the recording, a link to the slides within 2 to 3 business days. So definitely look out for that. Feel free to reach out to us in the meantime or afterward. And then I will also include a registration link for our additional upcoming Action for Healthy Kids webinars, both the ones that are related to the HealthierUS School Challenge and others that are related to general school wellness. So thanks again for your time today. A big thanks for Ebony for joining the call and the webinar today, and have a great day. Thanks.